Hey guys, we're gonna go over our first 10 turns on our legendary Skrag campaign. Let me know what you guys think. Hope you enjoy the video, and thanks for stopping by. After we finish this first fight, we're gonna be at the first settlement, and we just auto-resolved it, so we kind of just skipped through that part as well. What we also did was we took some recruitment there, and then when we go to get into the next settlement, it's just gonna be that much easier. Now when we do go get into that settlement, we are taking our gorgers, and later on, once we get a hero, a hunter preferably, we're using him with them, and we are swinging them around the opposite side. They have stalk. The hunter can get stalk later on, and we're just using them to pretty much cap the points and then have them there for backup if and when we need them. I don't think I show them here, so you guys won't see that since we kind of deleted most of the fights, but if you do that, it makes it way easier. Don't just send all your troops in and get them killed, because it's just going to take you longer, especially if you're running it on legendary very hard. At the end of the fight here, you do see we almost lost one of the gorgers, and it was very close. We weren't paying attention to the towers and what was happening. We were kind of going back and forth between them, but that was on me. Otherwise, you'll be fine. What we decided to do here was just occupy. It gives us more time so that we don't have a rebellion pop up. You could loot and occupy if you wanted to. I guess you could sack and then occupy it if you wanted to. It's up to you. It's just kind of what we did. What we should also talk about is that we paid off Reichland a few times. We didn't really want to go to war with them. I'm sure some of you probably figured out you could, pay them enough to make them your ally, but we didn't do that. Way later, around turn, I think 30, they declared war. It might have been a little sooner. But we paid them off a few times early so we could just kind of delay that war, and eventually we got Marienburg. You'll see at the end of the clip is Marienburg and us became allies. We started on aggression, trade, and then we ended up with the military alliance, and they helped us kind of take over the world from there. On turn 3, we can't really make it all the way to the next settlement, Blackstone Tower, so we just walk it out, and then we pretty much move on. I think we have a few things that we end up doing, just looking at, but we hit Blackstone Tower on turn 4. Take it, even with the units within that army helping out the garrison. It's not much of an issue for us. Like I said before, those gorgers just help us so much. Definitely use them, use that stock ability. And as you can see, the army isn't huge, the garrison not huge. We can easily just destroy them even if we went one to one. But we still want to use that ability, take as minimal losses as possible. We still ended up taking some casualties, but we didn't lose an entire unit card, which is fine. We're going to get those replenishments here. Since we occupied this settlement, we're going to take in our recruitment, and then once we get to our next turn, turn 5, we're not going to be able to move all the way anyways to what we want to take. But we want to remember that the Skaven here are not at war with us, so we can move into their territory, causing issues with diplomacy, but for us that doesn't matter, because what we're going to do next is we are going to declare war, and we're going to do that by going to take their main settlement. We are not taking this first one that you see here. Finally, on turn 7, we get to that settlement, and we are going to declare war. We're going to go at them. We can easily take this with the gorgers we have. I talked about it earlier, and I'll preach about it, but I really won't. And we go into this fight, and we go take their main settlement, leaving the other settlement for us to camp and sack and build up our base camp that we're going to use to get all of our units for later on down the road. And what you just saw us do was take Camp Foraging, which is going to take about 4 turns for us to actually get access to. But with our camp there in the enemy territory that we're in, it's going to get an additional 20 growth on top of whatever we have it making, right? And then what we're going to do is we're also going to raid in that same area, which is going to give us 10 more growth, so we can get that camp just booming. And what you can do here is you can pull that additional lord in, and that way you can, on turn 9, put him into that raiding stance and get that 10 additional a little bit earlier. It may matter to you, may not. Didn't really matter to me, honestly, right here. We just kind of went with it. Obviously, we didn't save scum, so we just kind of continued on, did what we were doing. We do encircle these guys for a couple turns just to help ourselves out. We do lose out on like the additional raid that we could do, because once you fight that battle, you bounce off, because you're just gonna sack it, and then you can go right into that raid stance, so you can make 20 additional growth just from the lords. And that's pretty much our first 10 turns in a nutshell. This was done on legendary, very hard battles. Obviously you saw us do a little bit of auto-resolving there, but in the even the short term, it didn't make a huge deal because we were just taking that location. For the last one, we literally just sacked it, and it didn't make a huge difference. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Thanks for checking out the video. Really do appreciate it. Hopefully it helps you out with your Skrag campaign, but let me know what you thought, and I will definitely be reading those comments, and I'll respond if you guys have questions or anything else you want to talk about. And you can also come by the Twitch channel and we can chat about more strategy or other things that you guys might have questions about. Just let me know and we'll try to hit those topics. All right, you guys have a good one.